welcome everybody. We're in our third interview, and this interview is we're interviewing the candidate Alfie Bitmus. We are, and what we're doing is we're interviewing him because he wants to run as mayor. Most people want to run as mayor. We've got three people who want to run as mayor. First, King Freddy, in the interesting nation of Caviar over there. Our next is Mason with his flat over there, and then Alfie, which is right in front of my face. So we're going to be doing some more questions we are today. So this is a nice question, but don't worry, everyone who's watching, because there are going to be some very tricky questions. I'm going to try and rip him to shreds. I am. And there were some tricky questions in the last video, so you probably should watch. So first of all is, will you help Dexter, me, do the pixel art in the capital?
I have decided to talk to you with stuff. I'd be happy to help you out with that, as I feel like it'd make a nice little aesthetic around the capital. Give it the vibe that we are looking towards. The
Yeah,
simple
I agree.
answer
We
would
need, we
be
need.
yes.
Sorry. We need. The reason why is because we need a big pixel art of Skinny. We do. Also, this is a picture of Skinny right here. And we need one of Iggy Cooper. We need one of Lemmy. We need one on everyone.
Well,
All
Jesus,
the
Jesus
plushie gang.
Christ. What for
All
you?
the plushie gang.
I'll put
All
the
right.
effort in. I've got effort in me.
Next one isn't a fun one. Well, no, it is a fun one, but the next one after will be interesting. Will you help with the television centre, and if so, how?
I'll help with the television centre.
Yeah, with help with the television centre, and if so, how?
I
Will you
do
help?
what hasn't been done by Sonistan, furnishing the actual television center.
Yeah,
Obviously that was the key thing that we were looking towards and wanted to get done. Of course, it hasn't happened, so therefore we should finish it. Um, in other ways, if you're looking towards anything else, I'd be open to try to put my effort in to make it happen.
and how would you help?
Find the resources necessary, even maybe even doing the thing.
But is this is
Thing
this is this volunteering or is this paid work? Same with the pixel art. Is it volunteering or paid work? Because anyone could do the paid work. When you think about it, your opposition, if you get into power, your opposition could still do the paid work, and they can claim it as an achievement for themselves, couldn't they?
I feel like a main part, actually doing the thing would probably be free. Getting the resources might have to pay a bit for, just because it might be harder to get certain resources for the artwork. But depending on whatever you want with the resources, it most of the time it could even just be free.
All right, I see. I see. What? So are we speaking like stuff like wool?
Yeah, wool, depending on what color, will probably be free or something quite cheap.
I see. So the next one is, can you cooperate with the national government? So me and Oliver, pretty much.
I have in the past. Don't see why I can't do it again.
All right, that's very good. All right. I've not planned these very well, these questions, because this is another, not one that I can tear you to shreds with. But what will you do to help out the television/radio industry?
Um, Probably host some television shows.
And how
Um,
would you do that? How would you make them?
Probably. Um, so you know how I was going towards like maybe hosting some odd events at times.
Yeah, yeah.
I might be able to broadcast that, make it nice aesthetically, make it um pleasurable for the naked eye to watch, and just make it something that people can experience on their screens instead of having to be there if
I
they
see.
can't. do it.
So next one is how will you boost the businesses in the capital and the economy? How will you do that?
Oh, a little chance. So, obviously, we can be aware that I used to be Chancellor.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. So I've already had a bit of experience with economic stuff. Um, a lot of it would probably be based on if the community kind of sees what they want when it comes to like economic stuff. They might be able to get their products out there and selling. If we can get people to do that, then we could be seeing some major business economically happen, which raises our economy like we've never seen it before.
And what happens if you can't? What happens if you can't? What happens if people aren't buying? What happens then?
Hmm. The harder one for those because we don't know what the state of the nation will be then.
Well, let's say,
So
for example, it's the general nation's in a positive state. Still, we would say in golden era. World War Three hasn't happened yet. Tensions with countries haven't exploded, whether it's Cold War time. What
so it's
happens
a
then?
bit so it feels like a bit of a stalemate economically.
Stagnation, pretty much. Well, no. If your plans stagnate, the country's still in good shape, but your plans aren't coming to fruition. What happens then?
Probably try a backup plan that I haven't really discussed yet. I haven't really thought of one as of the moment, but hopefully within the months coming up to the election, I'll be able to have backup plans, backup plan for the backup plan, maybe even a backup plan for that backup plan and a backup plan. I think
I
that's pretty
see.
cool.
When the month's coming up
Yeah,
to
you
the
probably caught that.
election,
You
the
probably
the
laugh at.
election's going to be probably in like a week.
Oh,
So
so like
you
the
get
actual election has happened in a week.
well the mayor's election.
Okay.
Um, and what happens if the backup plan fails? Are you going to try and seek a bailout with the national government? Are you going to seek assistance and help?
I'd probably talk to people who have economic power, see what their ideas are, if they are stuck, or even think maybe we should get someone else in this. I'll probably also re-elect
Right, I see.
to see if the
I
people want to give me another go or if they want to change.
So, actually, our next question was what if one of your plans are not working? So, let's say this in general, not just economy. What if one of your plans are not working? What would be your next route of action? How would you try to get that plan to work or direct it in a different way that you would prefer?
In a way, it's near enough the exact same answer, but I'd also try to put in as much effort as I can, and if it has to come to that point, then I would go up there and say, because I would probably throw some thinking on it. What's actually going on? Why aren't people doing it? See if we can get people to change their attitude towards um current issues and see if we can get it changed again.
How would you try and get people to change their attitude? How would you?
Like, give me a scenario so I can give you like a proper
Alright, if
answer.
people aren't buying, people aren't um creating, people aren't buying. Let's use that for example.
I'd probably give them a territory or some sort of space to be able to collect resources and end up making a space where they can sell those resources.
Yeah, but what happens if people don't want to buy the resources? What happens then?
Like buy it.
Yeah. What happens if people aren't buying stuff?
We're gonna give them no reason to not buy stuff.
And how?
And
How
when I
would you
mean
do that?
that, I mean obviously giving them a opportunity to get jobs. We'd probably look at what's not in the economy and get that out there. For example, we haven't got any resin out there. If we can get someone to stock up on resin and sell it, we could be in for some big money. investments for that.
But we're talking about the thing, what if people don't want to buy it? The demand isn't there.
Probably more of another question to ask the community. What did they want? What are they looking for? What would they buy? And we'd supply on that.
And what would you do with those businesses who do too high prices and refuse to lower?
At that point, you'd probably have to say to them, I'm afraid that business isn't going to happen if you don't do that. If you can't do that, I don't see how we can keep this business going, or we'll probably have to go elsewhere.
Yeah, but what happens if they don't care what you say and they still operate anyways? And if quite a few businesses do that, let's say, for example.
Well, I guess this businesses, respectfully, would probably go into bankruptcy.
I see.
We gave them the resources. It's just a shame that they couldn't hold on to those resources. But hopefully see if we can get them into a different thing, see if they can rearrange their prices. Or if we even give them more of a lead through on how to sell stuff. We're
I
more of like
see.
a tutor in a way.
So, so that's our third interview done. We're going to have one final interview, we are, with the final questions which I'm looking at. There is a very juicy one in it. That is going to be a lot of fun. Tons of fun. So please, I'm begging you, please, please, please go and watch the next one. Please. Alright, I hope to see you there. Bye.